Alright, what I have up on the bench today is the largest production single-man chainsaw ever produced, the Stihl 090. And this thing is a monster. It's actually pretty hard finding reliable information on this machine, but from what I can tell, this is a 137cc engine, so it's running an 8.36 cubic inch, puts out, and there's information that says between 8.5 horse and 13 horse. I think it's actually 8.5. I couldn't exactly get the Stihl specs, but from reliable sources, they were saying it's about 8.5. So it's actually 0.1 horsepower less than the current MS880, which is like some 20 cc smaller engine, but it's a higher torque engine, so it'll just pull. This thing it's fucking heavy. The power head, I've seen numbers between 26 and 30 pounds. And you start adding the weight of the bar on these guys. This is a 41-inch bar, and you know, lugging it around is work. Yeah, there's a 41-inch bar, 404 pitch on this guy, running a 7-tooth sprocket. I'm not going to take the side panel off and show you because that's work. It's late, and I got shit to do. And it'll just take too damn long. But this actually has a spur type sprocket, and it's reminiscent of the current climbing saws. If you watch my 201T, you know, it's got the clutch drum sprocket, and it's got the actual clutch on the outside. This is that same style. It's a 6-pad clutch, so 6 shoes in there. This one, the sprocket's actually pretty good, but I actually just ordered another one. Surprised I could even order one, but yeah, it was like 20 bucks. Alright, I didn't think that would happen. Also looked into getting a new bar. You know, we run the 660 more often than anything. We haven't actually used this since I started the company about 2 months ago. But here in the Midwest, it's not often you come across a breed that really needs something this big. Running the 36-inch bar on the 660 up to the 41, not getting a whole lot more bar. But I was looking, and there are still bigger bars available for this. I think the 59 or 60-inch bar is available. But that runs like 360 bucks. So unless I come across a situation where we actually need it, we're just going to stick with this 41 for the time being. But this thing, it is a monster. You know, I cut with it this morning for the first time. And I'll include that video, and there's definitely a learning curve. It's not like a modern chainsaw that's lightweight with the automatic oilers that you can just jump into a cut. I was having issues at first, and I was stalling it out in the cut. I was thinking I maybe had the carb tuned in properly, so I played with it a little bit, but I think I was pretty spot on. And the conclusion that I came to is that because of the weight of the power head, unlike a modern chainsaw where you just stick it in there, you know, dig the dogs into the wood, pull up, let it do the cutting. I'm thinking because of the weight, it actually torques it to the side, and when you're hitting the wood, this thing wants to go down, that torques on the bar, so that puts some stress in there, and actually made me cut curve, my first cut, and I think that's what was stalling out the chainsaw as well. So once I realized that was kind of happening, went a lot smoother. I mean, but by no means an expert on using this guy, but you know, definitely something I'm going to do more of in the future to get good at it. But you know, coming from modern chainsaws to this guy, I definitely realized how spoiled we are. And even back when this guy was in production, this spoiled the big fellers from using the ginormous 2-man felling saws and everything else that they had, you know, back then. As far as I can tell, this guy was made sometime prior to 1985. So when this was made, I was either in diapers or not born yet. And one of the most reliable saws, it's incredibly durable, which is one of the reasons it's so popular. You know, this guy pretty much started right up the first time I pulled it. Since then, I went through and you know, did a carb job on her just because just something good to do. It hadn't been ran for about a year. But she's about a 2 pull start. You know, decompression, choke on for 1 pull, kicks over, choke off, decompression, starts right up pretty much every time. Pretty phenomenal for its age. But it is all cast magnesium. Let's get a little bit closer of a look and I can show you some of the features on it. So it actually came with a couple different models. This is the base 090. There was an 090 AV with an AV bar going here, and an 090G, which was a 2-to-1 gear reduction. Also a GS, which was a stone saw, I believe. Does have a throttle lock on it. Makes it kind of easier starting. You'll notice actually this one is missing the safety there. And speaking of safety, there is no chain brake on this thing. There's also no AV system. It's pretty shaky when you run her. You got to work at it. But here you got your oiler. So while you're cutting, you do have to feed it oil if you're not familiar with older saws. Stop switch there. Decompression valve up here. Let's take off the air filter cover. So removing the cover, that is metal as well. You got the air filter. And this is actually the clean side of the air filter. You've got the intake hole for the carburetor right here. And then pull this guy out. And there's the dirty side. So the air actually comes in through here and here, gets pulled up, strained, cleaned, and into the carb. Also got choke right here. Idle adjustments in there, pretty far in. Kind of tricky to get to it if you don't have a flashlight. You can see we got some JB Weld or something. I don't know. I've only known her for 2 months, so I don't know what the history is. Also, something to note is these are not standard scrunch size bolts, so you'll need to get a ratchet or a wrench or something. So that's the basics. I'm not going to take out the side panel or anything. Just go jump straight to the cutting, and you can watch me fumble my way at first. But yeah, she's requires a bit of muscle to use, but I love her. I've not yet started her, so this will be a cold start. Alright, Stihl 090, round 2. I need to richen her up a little bit.
Stihl 90. First time running a saw that big. I think the weight of the power head, you kind of have to compensate when you're going through the cut, where it pulls the bar and bends it. I think that's what happened on my first cut. But that's a lot of work using that guy. You know, it makes you definitely appreciate automatic oilers and lightweight of the new saws. But I fucking love her. God, she's so amazing. Anyway, have a good one, humans.